All right, today we are diving into a story of family betrayal and some absolutely epic revenge that has been tearing up the internet. It's a wild tale about how generosity can get twisted into greed, and it all kicks off with one single, chilling decision.
And it all starts with this one line: a daughter, pushed way past her limit, who finally decides, you know what, enough is enough. But what on earth could a family do to provoke a reaction this extreme? Well, let's get into it.
So the crazy part is, this whole thing doesn't start with anger or bitterness. It starts with an act of just incredible generosity, a gift that honestly, most of us can only dream about.
So let's meet Jade. She's 34 and she is an absolute powerhouse. We're talking a top-tier brand strategist for billion-dollar companies in New York. She has meticulously planned the perfect trip for her parents: 3 first-class tickets to Paris and a presidential suite at one of the most exclusive, jaw-dropping hotels in the entire world. This is not just a vacation, folks. This is a life event.
Okay, so picture this. Jade rolls up in this luxury SUV to pick up her parents, ready for the trip of a lifetime. But then the front door opens and boom, her perfect plans just completely implode right there in the driveway.
Because standing there with her parents is her 31-year-old sister Chloe, who's jobless, and her mooching boyfriend. And then her mother, Sharon, drops this bombshell. And notice the wording: "We've decided." It's not a question, it's a declaration. They have decided that Jade is being kicked off her own gift trip.
And you gotta understand, this isn't just a random thing. This is a family dynamic that has been festering for years. Jade is the scapegoat, right? The family ATM, who's ambitious and successful. Meanwhile, Chloe is the golden child, the so-called delicate flower who, at 31, has never held a job for more than 6 months and feels like the world just owes her everything. This moment, it's the breaking point of a very, very toxic pattern.
Now you'd think this is where Jade just loses it, right? Screaming, crying, the whole 9 yards. But nope, she takes a deep breath and just calmly explains this one tiny detail they kind of forgot about. That first-class ticket? It's a special invitational fare. It cannot be transferred to someone else's name. It can only be canceled. And with that, the first thread of their little scheme starts to unravel.
So Jade cancels her ticket, gets back in her own car, and just leaves them to it. The family, still thinking they've won, heads to the airport. Oh boy, they are about to get a serious reality check, a world where Jade isn't there to bail them out.
And bam, at the Air France counter, reality hits them like a freight train. A last-minute first-class ticket for their precious Chloe, that'll be over $14,000. And guess what? The cabin's full. The only seat left on the entire plane is a miserable little middle seat in economy, and even that costs a staggering $3,800.
So, of course, her mom calls, just screaming, demanding Jade send the money. And this is where Jade brings up this key moment from their past. See, this isn't just about a trip. When Jade was 19, her own mother took her college savings, $8,000, to pay off Chloe's credit card debt. And her mother's advice back then? You're the smart one. You'll figure it out.
So what does Jade do? She transfers exactly $3,800 and hangs up. So now you've got the parents living it up in their fancy pods with lobster and champagne, while Chloe is literally crammed in the back of the bus, in a middle seat, staring at what looks like cardboard chicken on a tray. Yeah, this was not the glamorous vacation she thought she was stealing.
And you know Chloe isn't going to take this quietly. She actually storms up to first class demanding champagne. But the chief purser? Oh, he is not having it. Shuts her down flat. Tells her she's violating international air safety regulations and gives her a simple choice. Go back to your seat or security will be waiting for you in Paris. Ouch.
Yeah, so that 8-hour flight was basically a public shaming session for Chloe. But trust me, the real humiliation, the real nightmare is waiting for them on the ground. This is where their whole world just completely falls apart.
And the dominoes just keep falling. They get to Paris. No limo. They wait for half an hour. Nothing. They finally grab an expensive taxi to the hotel, Le Bristol, only to be told, sorry, your presidential suite was automatically canceled. Why? Because Jade, the guest of honor, canceled her flight. And the grand finale? Hotel security politely but firmly escorts them and all their luggage right out onto the curb. Unbelievable. So in a total panic, the mom asks for the cheapest room they have for just one night. The price? 3,500 euros. That's almost $4,000 for one night. They do not have that kind of money. Not even close. And this is where it gets even better. Chloe's mooching boyfriend Scott sees this train wreck happening, and he is out. He literally tells her, "This is your family's drama," and just walks away, leaves her stranded in the lobby, and disappears onto the streets of Paris. The ship has officially sunk.
So they've hit rock bottom. The mom makes one last frantic call to Jade. She's screaming, she's crying, blaming her for everything. And when she's finally done, Jade delivers the coldest, most epic line of this whole story. She tells her she's also in Paris. In fact, she's in the hotel at the Grand Gala, looking out the window directly at them, huddled on the sidewalk.
And this is the moment, the final reveal. This is where Jade explains exactly what they just threw away with their greed.
And the truth is just absolutely staggering. This was never just a vacation. It was a business trip, an honor. Jade was the keynote speaker at a massive luxury summit. She was there to accept a huge award. And the real surprise gift for her parents? She was going to hand them the deed to their house. She had secretly paid off their entire mortgage, in full.
And how much was that? Well, that was her annual bonus, $150,000. The money that was going to give her parents a completely debt-free life. The money that they just forfeited. Forever.
Her dad gets on the phone, begging, pleading, asking what they're supposed to do. But it's just too late. That part of Jade that craved their approval, it's gone. With the sound of applause building in the background, she ends the call. "I have to go now, Dad. They're calling my name." She hangs up and walks toward the stage to accept her award. She chooses herself.
I mean, wow, this story is a masterclass in consequences, right? It's this powerful reminder that family isn't a lifelong excuse for disrespect, and that setting boundaries is the ultimate act of self-worth. It really shows that sometimes protecting your own peace, your own success, it's priceless. And that leaves us with one last question for you to think about. Have you ever had to be the bad guy just to protect your own peace?